Whoa. Hey, I'm alive. Am I alive? I guess I'm alive. That hurt. Okay. Welcome to the show. We've got a person I only met online last night. Last week. Yeah, had fun last night too, and on another show, the senior show. But I met somebody new last week on Facebook. We are going to bring him out in just a few seconds here. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Those watching in the future, hello. Those watching on YouTube, hi, X, hi, all the other channels this is on. Of course, welcome the All Access Network TV regulars watching it on all those channels. Yeah, you notice I'm slowly changing things in here. I'm trying to get the construction done, folks, but it's going to be January before I can get things moved around. I still got to move some big pieces of furniture to finish this room, and I'm just dreading it. I got Christmas stuff up. I'm just being lazy. Oh well, let's get on with the show. Let's go ahead and open the door up, please. All right, let's get on with the show. I'm going to do the ad first. Hey, there's always these friends of mine all over the place, including some friends of mine who run New Orleans Paranormal. And we'll throw up the picture with the lady, please. There we go. She has her own podcast, and she does run New Orleans Paranormal Society. They also do tours down in New Orleans. You want to go ahead and put up picture number 2, and it's got all their information. All you got to do is pause this video, maybe make it a little bit bigger. So you got their phone number, their address. They do tours if they sell tickets to 6 nights a week, 6 or 7 nights a week. And they will also, the reason I did this after the intro, you saw a little bit of the Andrew Jackson Hotel. That's one of the places they will take you on a tour. But also, in January 31st, next year, will be the inaugural New Orleans Paracon. This will be the first of many years. They are, the people running it, Chris and Jennifer Talley, are younger people than me. I couldn't run it for very long. They're going to be down there. They live in the quarter. The host hotel is in the quarter. It's the first time an actual Paracon has been run in the quarter, the French Quarter. They will take you to very haunted places. You saw a couple of pictures of my intro where I was at the Andrew Jackson Hotel. I have contacted 2 or 3 different spirits at the Andrew Jackson myself and multiple investigations there. It's a crazy place. I'll take you right to where there's a haunted closet. The most haunted hotel room in Andrew Jackson is right above where they will be taking you. I was staying right beside. It's a little foyer between their haunted closet in where I was staying, and we had a spirit in there that we could walk in the room and call him by name, and he would answer. That's what kind of haunted place Andrew Jackson is. The Andrew Jackson himself was not there. He never saw the hotel, but there was a person killed in one of the rooms. Well, they say he was killed, say it was a possible suicide. It's kind of hard to tell when it's almost 100 years old. That's when the killing occurred. There's also another guaranteed suicide in one of the other rooms, and you will be right there, very close to those rooms, investigating one of the most haunted hotels in the French Quarter, and you're not there for 10 minutes. You're not going in front of the place and saying, this is Andrew Jackson Hotel. It's haunted. Moving on, walking. That's not what they do. On the tours, they take you in there. You will investigate it for a couple of hours, along with a haunted room behind a voodoo store, old slave quarters. They've got several spirits there. They do stay in communication with those spirits. They will take you there during the Paracon for several investigations. You'll enjoy it. If you really want to do some serious ghost hunting, this is a Paracon to go to, because the people leading the investigations will take you to very haunted locations in the quarter, and you will be ghost hunting with professionals. Bring your own equipment. Please bring cameras. I will be podcasting the entire 3-day event from the hotel live. Also, I will be going at night to the investigations. So this is a chance. If you're only 1 or 2 people coming out of your paranormal group, try to bring everybody. They will see you, your friends and your family will see you on an actual ghost hunt live on All Access Network TV. So come on down to New Orleans Paracon. It's going to be one of the most interesting Paracons that you can go to next year. It's fabulous. Now, we're going to bring up our guest. Bring him on out, please. Kevin Cain. Woo!
Hello, everybody. Good evening.
How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing jolly. The reason I'm doing jolly because I am very cool. And I'm full of Christmas spirit. Of course, I haven't been drinking yet, so it's not that kind of spirit.
Oh, yeah. I do mine on New Year's Eve.
Oh, that's why I'm not doing a show on New Year's Eve. Gwen does not want me on at midnight on New Year's Eve. That would just get too foolish.
Oh,
because I've got connections on a lot of my alcohol is drank out of a canning jar.
Oh, moonshine.
You said no? That's untaxed alcohol. That's illegal. I would never. Of course, I do live in the country. You don't know much about me, Kevin. I live just outside of Star City, Arkansas, in the southeast corner of the state. And the town is only around 2,200 people, and I live about 2 miles outside the city limits.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have very few neighbors, unless you want to count the raccoons, the snakes, a bear or two. Got a good fishing lake down the street too. Okay, we got somebody making a comment already. There it goes.
Oh, let's see.
Well, we appreciate the good evening. Good evening to you. Hope you're enjoying the show. But I don't know much about Kevin. He's got some interesting things behind him. first, let's talk about uh, are you a lone wolf when you investigate, or do you have a group with you? And start talking about some of those haunted dolls you're always pictured with.
Well, I do have a group, Scare of Alabama, although our investigations sort of slacked off after pandemic hit, and also our team leader Kim Johnston, who's also a published author like myself, started focusing on some other things. But normally we do go out as a group and investigate. I'm also connected to Abnormal Alabama with Kelsey Graham and Catherine Marie. So we've gone out and done some investigations too. And both teams, I've wound up collecting a lot of these dolls on investigations, but many of them have come from other collectors, other investigators around the country, even some across the world. I had a demonologist send me a couple of dolls from Australia uh, several years ago. They don't have demons attached to them, but she wanted to just get rid of them, and so she surprised me and sent them to me. Um, I started doing this. It happened sort of branched off of my paranormal investigating. I've been investigating since 2003, and I did start out kind of solo. Me and my brother would go out and do investigations, and then I met Kim Johnson and joined Scare of Alabama over a decade ago. Uh, which Scare, if I remember, it's been a while. It's what is it? Society. I don't know. It's abbreviated for something. I just call it Scare. Scare of Alabama. It's abbreviated for something. Scare, but I don't remember what the words were. Shame on me. But yeah, we just go by Scare of AL.
Okay.
And
Well, I can't remember what SHIELD stands for either.
I think it was Society or Search something. Research. I know the RE part is for research. So Kim would probably slap me over the head for not remembering what it stands for. But it was shortly after I did that, and we sort of we get. I mean, we were getting a lot of calls back then. In fact, one of Kim's investigations right before I joined was featured on that TV show Paranormal Witness. It's the one that took place here in Alabama. Can't remember the name. Rock. I want to say it's Rockford, Alabama, because I thought that sounds like that old show, The Rockford Files. If I'm not showing my age too much, I think it's called Rockford, Alabama, not far from Auburn. And there was a family that dealt with a pretty evil entity in their home, and they called on Kim to help out. And that investigation took its toll on Kim. That was a toughie that she dealt with there. Uh, so that got our team kind of well known, and some of my coworkers found out what I was doing, and that's when one of my former managers said, "You know what? I've got this doll I bought in Michigan. Um, her name is Patty, and she's supposed to be haunted, and I'm starting to think she might be." Now, at that time, first of all, if you'd asked me 15 years ago, would you ever have a house full of haunted dolls? I'd say you are crazy. No, because the first thing I think of when I think of haunted dolls is Chucky or Annabelle. So I said, no, this, that would be crazy. But uh, my former manager offered me her haunted doll named Patty and told me the story about when she'd bought it at one of those, I can't remember those yard sales they have when someone's passed away. I can't remember the term we use. Estate sale. An estate sale in Michigan, White Cloud around that area. And the man she bought it from told her, well, now this is supposed to be haunted by a little girl. It was a relative of ours named Patty. And of course, she right away was like, I don't believe that crap. Just give me the doll. She liked to collect dolls and antiques. It's a beautiful little doll with a bonnet, and it's in this little crawl position. It's head and arms and legs are glass. The body is kind of a cloth material. And it was uh, on the back of the doll, you can see it was manufactured in 1986. So it's vintage. She brings it home all the way from Michigan and brings it into her house. And not long after, the room where she had the doll, her little 4-year-old granddaughter would go in there and she would come out and say, "Grandma, little girl playing with the dolls." And she'd say, "Well, what are you talking about?" Because there were no other children in the house. "A little girl playing with a doll." She'd take her in there to the point out the Patty doll and said there was a little girl there. The man had told my manager that the little girl that owned that doll was named Patty, and that her mother, who was a prostitute, didn't take very good care of her, would often leave her alone at night. And the little girl was only like 7 years old, Patty. Real pretty blonde girl, they described her. And one night, the mother left her alone for hours, and the little girl got hungry and was in the kitchen looking for something to eat, and she came across a bag that she thought was candy. So she ate it, and she didn't know it was actually drugs her mother had taken for payment from one of her clients. You know what I mean? So little Patty passed away during the night. She didn't wake up the next morning. She uh, died from the drugs. The neighbor found her. In fact, it was the neighbor that had given her this little doll that I now have. It was her only toy because her mother didn't care about her or buy her toys or anything. So the neighbor had felt sorry for her. And that morning when she didn't see Patty, she went to check on her, and that's how they found out she was dead. I don't know what happened to the mother. I think she got arrested, thrown in jail. But ever since then, the family who took the doll claimed that they would see Patty's ghost and hear her voice. So now, my manager in her home, getting back to her story, here's her granddaughter seeing a little girl's ghost. So then Judy started, my manager started seeing or hearing a little girl's voice in the room at night where that doll was and hear little footsteps. Sometimes she would hear the little girl singing, but she'd go and look in the room and nobody was there. Well, I thought that's a cool story, and I wasn't sure if I believed it. So I said, "Well," she said, "I need to get rid of it, and my daughter won't take it. She's scared of it." So, so she said, "I know you love ghosts, so why don't you take it?" And I said, "Okay, this will be a cool conversation piece. Wow, I can't wait to tell my team about it." So I take it home and I take some pictures of it on my bed. And one of the pictures is beautiful, perfectly round orb, you could call it, which I'm not a big orb fan. Sometimes that can be dust or insects, but this was so distinct and it was right over the doll's head. And I took other pictures. It never showed up again in any of the other pictures immediately after. And I thought, interesting. So I would start at nighttime setting up my little handheld voice recorders near the doll. I would try to test it out, see if I could catch anything. Got an EMF detector. Every once in a while it might flash, but I thought, I really wish I could catch something solid. And I'd play back my recorder every morning the next day and wouldn't catch anything. And finally, 2 weeks later, one night, I'm sitting in my recliner. It's at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm half asleep and I'm talking to this doll. And I thought to myself, let me talk to her like, I would talk to a child. I talk to her like this and tell her a story and maybe sing a song and see if I can get a reaction on the recording. And I felt like a fool. And especially being half asleep, I played back the recording the next morning and I thought, man, I sound drunk. And I get to the end of it. At the very end, I hear myself saying what I had said the night before. I'm saying, okay, time to go to bed. Sweetie pie, I got to go. Uh, and I can't remember something else I said, but just as I'm turning the recording off, you hear a little girl's voice right when I say, got to go to bed, got to go sleep. And you hear a little girl's voice say, righteous, right as I turn the recorder off. And I heard that, and I'm just like chills are going up my spine. I'm half excited and half scared because I'm thinking, oh my God, this is real. I just caught an EVP. And I knew my little apartment I was living at the time was not haunted. I'd never had any experiences. Nothing ever followed me home. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. And then the other half of it is going, holy crap, what did I bring into my house? Now I got to go. But after that, I just got hooked. I kept, testing the doll. And I would very faintly, I finally got a spirit box. I'd very faintly get her voice on there sometimes, but I never got another clear EVP like that again. Um, Not from Patty anyway. It's always spirit box that I use to do that with now. But that started my journey. I opened up a Facebook page and my YouTube channel, My Haunted Dolls, which at the time was just called Patty the Haunted Doll. But people started connecting with me, other collectors contacting me, going, "Hey, you need any more?" And I'm like, "What the heck? No." And about that time, I moved into my first house as a garden home. I had a big, great room and a nice two or three bedrooms. So I had extra rooms because I was living on my own. And I decided, if I can help other people, and I talked to my team about it. I said, if I can help other people, who knows? Maybe we may come across a client that has a haunted item. And we did eventually a year later. That's another story. But I said, maybe I should learn this. Kim's like, yeah, maybe you can be our haunted item expert for our team. We never had one. So I started studying up on everything, not just the scary things like Annabelle and Robert and stuff, but I started talking with other people out there, other investigators and teams that dealt with haunted items. And come to find out, not every haunted item is evil. You've got some good spirits, you got some bad spirits out there. But I started getting other dolls sent to me, other items. Like I've got a mirror that had pretty nasty entity attached to it. I had to bless that before I brought it in my house. I've got, I know I've got some tools, a pair of glasses that a doctor used to own. Uh, there's some jewelry, but mostly it's dolls. These little child spirits love dolls, it seems like. Some of them are adult spirits. Oh, I have some haunted paintings too. And this has been going on since 2013. So now I've got over 400 items. I lost count a
Wait a
long
minute. Did
time
you
ago.
say 400?
Yeah, I mean, this is just one room back here. In fact, I
Goodness.
can go flip the camera. See if I can get us around here. I've even got some famous ones. This mannequin baby. Anybody watches the Travel Channel, Ghost Hunters did a show for a little while called, what was it called? Ghost Nation. Jason Halls and Steve Gonzalez. One of their episodes, they investigated a antique store in Gettysburg, and this mannequin baby was on that show. They put a camera on it. The lady that owned the shop said that she would see the doll or the mannequin turn its head and look at her. Well, they put a camera on that doll all night, and they didn't catch a thing, but it's on TV, so you got a celebrity here. When I got him, about a week later, I was sitting here on the couch. He's right behind me, and I heard right here like that. I turned around and looked. I didn't see anything. I got up and tried to do some recordings and stuff. I didn't catch anything, but I did hear that tap on the glass right in front of him. And I also did a live YouTube video for 2 hours in here, just set a camera up and left it to see what would happen. And I caught the sound of a dog yipping. Now, I don't have a dog. I have a cat. There she is right there. And she doesn't bark like a dog. But I caught the sound of a dog barking from that dog.
Wow.
And I've got a lot of oddities here. A lot of people are scared of my jester there. They don't like him. And I can't swear all these things that have been sent to me or that some of them uh, I kind of adopted. So I've spent a little money If I thought I could get something away from somewhere, sometimes it's worth paying for it. But most people, if they're scared of something, they'll give it to you. They'll say, "Get it out of my house." And a lot of these, like a couple of these dolls, came from my friend Cherie Shune in Georgia. She's got me beat. She's got over 600 dolls in her house. I also have tools like this REM pod that looks like a toy phone that sometimes they like to play with. I do have some just for fun. I threw some replicas in here, Chucky and Annabelle. And most of my TikTok audience, they love Megan over here. Although I have noticed her eyes move sometimes, so that's kind of creepy. But and this, like I said, this is just one room. I got a bedroom in there. It's got a bunch of them. My elderly father lives with me, so I don't want to go in there and disturb him. But oh,
That's a lot of dolls.
never mind the nun up there from The Conjuring 2. I do TikToks twice a week in here. I do a live TikTok, and the audience gets a kick out of. I'll just turn the spirit box on, and I used to know an investigator named Gil down in New Orleans. I can't think of his last name now. He disappeared on me, so uh, yeah, you might have heard of him. I don't know, but he used to collect haunted items and do investigations in New Orleans. And a couple of these dolls came from him. One of them is this clown doll, Herbie. Now get him on frame here. Here we go. This one is a trickster right here. He's haunted by a man that used to be a clown in real life. That's why he chose a clown doll to haunt. When I got the spirit box on in here, he loves to belch through the spirit box. He loves to make funny stooge noises, and sometimes he'll crack a short joke. And also, little Miss Tessa down here came from Gil as well. So these two kind of know each other. I've heard them banter on the spirit box before during those TikTok lives. They call each other names, and it's hilarious. But there comes my cat to join me. She loves him. She loves coming here and hanging out with the dolls. Cats are pretty.
What is your cat's name?
Her name is Maddie.
Maddie.
Yes, actually, believe it or not, she's a toughie. Yeah, she's a rescue cat. My neighbor rescued her when she was 2 months old, and I've had her since. And she is a tough, curious cat. And I called her Maddie, named her after that character in the movie True Grit. I don't know if you ever heard of that John Wayne movie. Uh, the girl he helps out in that movie, Maddie, was kind of a strong attitude type character. And this cat has attitude. So that's who I named her after. But
You said you had a TikTok channel?
yes, and it's just under my name, Kevin Cain.
Okay, so people that want to look up your TikTok can just punch in Kevin Cain, and there you have it.
Oh yeah. I need to link that to my website, myhauntedDolls.com. I haven't linked it on there yet, but I did. Yeah, you can find Kevin Cain on TikTok under my name, and you'll see my profile picture up there. And every Thursday night and Saturday afternoon, I do a live. This little girl during one of the lives, her head turned and faced the camera right in front of me. I was pointed right at her like this, and her head turned.
Oh, wow.
And another time, this chair with this ventriloquist doll turned. It was, facing this way, and it turned like that right in front of me. I was sitting over here filming, like right in here. And I do have clips of that on my TikTok. I have them on my YouTube channel too. My Haunted Dolls on YouTube.
Okay. So that tells most people where they can find you. Either,
Oh yeah.
what you got 2 Facebook pages?
I just have one. I mean, I have my personal profile, but My paranormal one is also on Facebook. It's called My Haunted Dolls. Just a week or two ago, right at the time you first messaged me, my Facebook messed up and I lost my old account along with the My Haunted Dolls. So I had to start it all over again after 16 years of building that thing up, thanks to Meta AI. I don't know if I was hacked or what happened, but they wouldn't give it back to me, so I had to start it over. But it's there now, My Haunted Dolls on Facebook, and there's also Instagram, which not quite as easy. You have to put in my underscore haunted underscore dolls to pull up my Instagram.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think I could step in here quietly. Oh, I got some over here too, but just a few near the TV and on the shelves there. I could step in here in the bedroom quietly just so you can see. Because I hate not to show Patty after I've told her story.
You say Patty the doll has a spirit inside of it?
Yeah, the little girl Patty who owned it.
Okay. I used to
And
have a girlfriend named Patty, and when she got spirits in her, she was just pure evil. Did you freeze? Uh-oh.
oh, there we go. I had to cut
There
my
you
my
go.
Wi-Fi off because it's weaker in here, so we're good now.
Okay.
I'm trying to get her on camera here. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but this is Patty here in the pink. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There she is.
Here
If she's the
she
one
is.
the little voice said righteous. These were the first dolls I've gotten. There's Andrea. She came from St. Louis. And the story with her, and I actually found it online. There was a little girl named Andrea that owned that doll, this one here. And her grandmother gave it to her because it looked just like her with the long strawberry blonde hair and the blue eyes. And she kept it in her bedroom. She was about 9 years old and she went swimming in her neighbor's pool. I think it was around 1994 or 95. And she and her friends were swimming and they were playing a game where you go to the bottom of the pool and see how long you can stay down. When they came up, her long hair had gotten caught in the drain, so she couldn't get back up.
Ooh.
And by the time anybody realized what had happened, they dove and they got her hair loose, got her up, and they tried CPR. It was too late. She was already gone. And afterwards, her family claimed they heard her voice near that doll and they would find her books moving around because Andrea loved books. They'd find them in different places. So my friend AJ in Oklahoma got her, and Tammy doll too. Both of these came from St. Louis. But when I got Andrea, I did notice a few times that I would find some of my old children's books. When I'd come home from work, they'd be off the shelf and laying on the floor, and nobody was there, while I was gone. So I thought that's odd, and I figured that might have been Andrea looking for a book to read. And I got her voice on my spirit box one time. She's a little sassy thing. She's adorable though. But I asked her on the recording. I have it on audio on my YouTube channel. I said, "Say your name for us," and she said, "I'm Andrea" on the spirit box. And right behind that, she goes, "Hello." And it wasn't like a greeting hello. It was like a hello, dummy. You know my name.
Wow.
so she's quite funny.
Now these little bits, were they all gotten recorded through recording, or did you find them live on TikTok?
These recordings I'm talking about, these are the ones that I made.
Okay, I mean,
They're,
yeah, you made them, but
oh, you mean
were they during a live show or just when you were in the house by yourself?
just when I was in the house doing recordings.
Do you have them posted anywhere?
Yeah, they're on my YouTube channel. Now you'd have to scroll back a long ways because I've had that channel for over 10 years. But you
Okay.
can find them on there. My Haunted Dolls on YouTube. In fact, the website for that is the address is youtube.com/my haunted dolls because I own the URL now. You see, I got a bunch of them in here. Got what they call a timeout doll. It's made to go against the wall. If you look at it, it has no face.
Oh wow.
People creeped out by these. But the one that creeps people out the most is this full blown mannequin over here. I call her Melissa.
Do you entertain often at your place? And if so, what do your friends say about all this?
Oh, they love it. I would have once a year. I would have my paranormal team, and they could bring their friends and family. They'd come over, and I'd do a cookout. It'd start in the afternoon. If it was the summer, I'd do a kick out. If it was or cookout, I mean, if it was wintertime, I'd do a chili and soup dinner inside, and we would eat and hang around, and then do a little investigation right there in my house of all the haunted items. And I ran out of room, so I had to move to this house 5 years ago. I'm gonna go back in the main room now, so I don't.
Well, at least you had the means to get a bigger house.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I had just always been nervous about getting a haunted object. I had a bad experience, and when I lived in Chicago, uh, Glenn has heard this story before when I was talking to John Zaffers, John Jathis, excuse me, and a girl I worked with picked up some plate fragments, and there was a spirit immediately that first night started appearing at the foot of her bed, about a 6 foot tall shadow figure.
Ooh.
Her husband thought she was going crazy until she woke him up, and he saw it too. And she called me, and I said, "Get rid of those plate shards." I said, "Put them back right where you found it, exactly like they were, as far back as you can remember, as well as you can remember." She did that, no more problem.
Oh,
So I've always been nervous about haunted objects myself.
yeah, yeah. I tell people it's not for everybody. In fact, I never would have thought. I never would have dreamed that. Trying to fix my tripod here. I never would have dreamed that I'd be doing it one day, but here I am. But you definitely have to be experienced. I'll just hold it. You definitely have to be experienced and have a sensitive cat that helps you out. And you
Okay.
have to protect yourself. For me, and I know people
Yes.
have different beliefs. For me, it's I come from a Christian background, so it's God, Jesus. Those are my biggest, they're my biggest protection. I wouldn't do this without heavy prayer, and every night I pray over the house, the property, to make sure it's protected. And I have had a few demonics. There's one, oh, I didn't show the demon doll. I got sealed up. Let me turn this back around for y'all. Right up here on the top
You have a
shelf.
lovely home, by the way.
Thank you. Right up here, this, and don't let her fool you, this semi lovely looking lady here went by the name of Lori. She's from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And this is where I warn people, be careful So the Conjuring movies, when they first came out, stirred up a craze about haunted dolls, and people started wanting them. Oh, I want me a haunted doll like Annabelle. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Just dumb and want to get yourself attacked. And this lady that owned this doll bought it around 2014 from eBay from a seller who claimed to be what they call a white witch, which means a positive witch,
Right.
and claimed this doll had a protective spirit like an angel, and she brought protection and good luck. Well, this poor lady buys it, totally bamboozled, and it arrives at her house. And it's not long after that she and her roommate started experiencing very violent nightmares. They would wake up with scratches on their arms. One morning, oh, and the scariest part was when they would talk about their dreams, they were both dreaming about the same exact dark entity, like a
Really?
black mass in the shape of a man, but not a man. And the last straw was when she woke up with the sensation of a hand around her throat strangling her. And she started saying the Lord's Prayer, and the feeling went away, and she could breathe again. And somebody who knows me, I can't remember who it was, told her about my Facebook page and said, contact Kevin Cain, the haunted dog guy. So she contacted me, and I said, by that time I had learned. In fact, you mentioned John Zaffis. I had kind of studied his method on how to bless items, and I had been successful with a haunted mirror that I keep. I'm not going to show it because it's I don't trust it. It's in the attic through that door over there. But when I got her the day she arrived, my cat, who is usually very nosy and likes to watch me open packages, would not come in the room. She ran and hid under the bed. And I felt very nauseous, like I was going to throw up, which is the feeling I usually get if I go in a place where there's a demonic activity. So immediately I took her out. I was already ready for her. I had this case uh, ready to put her in, but I performed the blessing with the prayer. I had a crucifix around my neck that had been blessed by a priest. Had a what they call a doobie stick from India that's supposed to help drive out uh, negativity. I had it burning next to her, but mainly it was my prayer and asking in the name of Christ to bless this item, to cast out whatever attachment. And during the praying, something grabbed my crucifix around my neck and yanked it. And the rope it was hanging on just snapped and it fell on the floor. And I instantly remembered part of the teaching that doing a blessing on an item, do not show fear because they feed off of that.
Yes.
So instead of getting scared, I just reached down and picked up the crucifix from the floor and I put it on that doll. And I kept splashing holy water on her. I kept praying until I felt the nausea go away. I felt the atmosphere, turn more positive. And I knew it was really good when my cat finally came back in the room. So I
Yes,
sealed her up.
cat animals can pick up things we cannot.
Oh, yeah. But I smeared some holy water on the insides of this container she's in and sealed it up. I soaked her in holy water. She's not been a problem. I kept in touch for a while with the prior owner who said they'd stopped having nightmares, no more attacks. Um, the only thing that's happened since then, about 4 months after the blessing, my team came over for that one of those cookouts I was talking about. So we
Okay.
have a team member, Ladarius. He cannot stand dolls. He'll come over and visit, but he just stays on his phone. Well, funny thing, him of all people, he was looking at that doll in the room she was in. She was up on a high shelf like she is now, and he was just staring at her. And he turned around and looked at me, and his eyes were bulging. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even look like himself. He started begging me, "Can I take her home? Please let me take her home. I gotta take her home, Kevin, please." And our friend Kat, our mutual friend Kat, who's sensitive, she could tell something was off. So she grabbed his arm and said, "Ladarius, you need to go away from there, and you need to get out of this room." So we got him outside the room, and he suddenly went back to normal. And to this day, in fact, I was talking about that a couple of months ago. He was here, and he still can't remember staring at this doll or begging me to take it home. He's like, I hate dolls. I don't know what you're talking about. So that's
We had a
pretty
little
creepy.
question. We had a little question about that doll. They said a case is really a safe place to have a negative spirited doll, and he has doubts about it. I'm assuming. Whoa.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Okay.
Try to turn my
Uh,
camera back here.
I'm assuming. Yeah, besides the case, you used holy water, and your prayers are reinforcing any kind of case that you've got the doll in.
Yeah, that's the belief, and I believe, in fact, that's uh, other than Ladarius, I think there was still a little bit of that energy left, and it was trying to affect him. But since then, I've had no other issues with that doll. It's been several years, so I mean, I believe it worked. There's a few items I've had to bless around here that every time I do that, I always contact the person. I stay in contact with them, the person who owned the item before me, to make sure they're okay. And as long as they're doing okay, that's great. That means the blessing was a success. But definitely containing it, like the Annabelle in the Warren Museum,
Right.
uh, does help. Well, once you bless out the negative, it keeps the negative from coming back.
Right. You said you are a religious man. Which religion do you follow?
Christianity,
I mean, Catholicism or more of a Protestant or
Protestant, yeah, we were in a Baptist church, is what I grew up in.
okay.
Even though I do
I,
use some of the Catholic methods like the holy water, because I was always interested by that. It does seem to work, but I feel like it's without the prayer, it probably wouldn't. But
you're
uh,
right
so,
because
but I do,
you seem to be full of faith, and that's what you need.
yes. So yeah, I do like some of the tools they use, and it seems to work for me. And I know the main key for me anyway. And like I say, not everybody has, everybody's got different beliefs, but for me, the protection I've gotten from Christ has really helped keep a lot of this junk at bay as far as the negative stuff. While
Okay, you
still,
got another comment in the chat room.
okay.
There it is.
Well, this question, if your friend is okay, God definitely protected both him and you that day. Oh yeah, I believe that, and that's why I
Okay.
still pray every night, regardless of how good I feel here. Daily prayer over this stuff because you never know. And some of these items have had some pretty wild attachments, and even if they're not there, the vessel, it's best to keep it out of you know the wrong hands.
Right.
And that's where I go back to, like my goddaughter, mine and my sister's best friend as a daughter. She's kind of our goddaughter. She loves my collection. She's like, I want a haunted doll. Where can I get a haunted doll? I said, you don't want a haunted doll. I mean, only people that have had, I'm not bragging, tooting my horn, but I'd had at least 10 years investigating experience before I even got into this. Before that, I grew up in a haunted house, so I had a lot of experiences back then as a child too. But just being around it so long and getting the proper training helped me to be able to deal with this. I would not recommend anybody just taking a haunted item. You really have to know
Right.
what you're doing with it and educate yourself before you get into anything like that. It's almost like a calling. Some people, like John Zappis, the Warrens, some people are kind of called to do that. Some people are called to do other things. But I do mainly love helping people. I love on our investigations, even if we're debunking something, I love to help people better understand what they're dealing with and also to, help provide protection and guidance. Um, we had said exactly, not everybody can get a haunted doll. I saw that comment. That's true. One
By the
thing,
way, you keep mentioning John Zathis.
yes,
Remember the Paracon I mentioned in New Orleans?
Yes.
He's going to be the featured guest.
Oh, that's awesome.
So come on down New Orleans, July 31st, and you can meet and actually go on. He will be leading some of the investigations.
Oh, that is awesome.
So, how would you like to ghost hunt with John?
Shoot, I would definitely love that.
New Orleans Paracon.com. Check them out and see what their rates are, what kind of packages they have, which includes the room.
Ooh.
And some of the hauntings, some of the paranormal investigations, and you can just pick one with that John's going to be leading. Our own CEO here at All Access Network will also be there. Triana, I'll be there podcasting the whole thing. Gwen's going to be there, keeping me on a leash. Kevin, got another question here. Did you ever do an updated dog collection one day?
$100 one. I've run out of room again now. I got so many packed in here. Oh shit! You must be watching you watch my YouTube videos. I guess it's been quite a hot minute since your last collection video. Oh yeah, I did a tour video one time that got a lot of hits several years ago. So I thought about doing that. I did one after we moved here 5 years ago, but it was like a quick walkthrough. But I might go around and do that one day soon.
Well, have you got another one here from Bill Melton? Have any of your haunted dogs ever come from the state of New Mexico?
No, but I didn't. Well, not that I'm aware of. I know from Arizona. I've got a haunted little dog carriage back here on this display case that came from a very haunted house near Phoenix. And I think they call themselves the Phoenix Paranormal. What do they call it? Phoenix Paranormal Seekers or something like that. I got in touch with them about the carriage. They sent that to me. This house out there had just a lot of activity going on. There's like a good and evil battle going on inside that house. It was so intense the family fled.
Oh wow!
That Phoenix Paranormal team, and they were doing an investigation in there. And one of them was setting up, I guess, a recorder in a closet, an empty closet, where they'd had some activity. And he left, and when he came back to get the recorder, this doll carriage was in there, and it was not there before. Let me show it on camera. I'll just keep it in selfie mode here. It's a really old one from like turn of the century, but he said it wasn't
That's
there
interesting.
before.
Wow!
And they called the owners and said, "Do y'all know anything about this doll carriage? Did y'all leave this?" And they said, "No, we didn't have a antique doll carriage." So they don't know where that came from. But when I got it, I've got a little video out on my YouTube channel from several years ago where I got the voice of a little girl attached to that said her name, and she said she was missing her doll. So I bought a little doll and put it in there. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Yeah, there it is. Bought a little doll and put it in there for her. Happy.
How you doing, Pam Harris? Welcome to the show. You are a very interesting man.
Well, thank you.
I hope you don't mind just being the star of the show, because I'm just in awe. This is not my ballywick. It's not my alley, or whatever you want to call it. I'm not knocking what anybody wants to do. So I'm not. I don't have any. The paranormal is infinite possibilities, and infinite variety. So I don't know what anybody else is doing. But this is not something I would do.
And nor would I recommend it, because it can open up a gateway if you're not careful. But
Yes.
we always tell people don't do spirit boxes in your own house, um, because you might accidentally invite something in. It's not as dangerous as a Ouija board because on those you have to have your hand on the planchette, and so you're touching that thing while communicating, and all kinds of boogers can sneak their way in. I always tell people don't use a Ouija board, but even spirit boxes, I treat them the same way, even though you don't have to touch them, and they're a bit safer, I find. But before I'll turn one off, I'll always do a little countdown to all the spirits to back away, and I'm going to say goodbye after the count of 5. And I'll count down, and then I'll say goodbye, thank you, and turn it off, just for extra safety. I learned that from
Right.
my paranormal team. And
That's what I do. I do another show on my own channel, on my own little network. And I haven't done it the past couple of Saturday nights. So I've had me either been not feeling well or whatever. Not had, fall asleep at 10 o'clock at night. But I use the Echo Box, which works a little different than the Spirit Box. And I do it right here in the house. But I always tell them, okay, you got 5 minutes. And I said, okay, it's time to go. You're no longer welcome in the house or on my property. Leave the wife alone. She's sleeping, but you must leave now. And most of the time, all of a sudden, the words that I'm picking up just goes to nothing. By the time I get that out of my mouth, and before I reach up and turn it off, there's usually a few seconds of silence where they're completely gone.
yeah, I kind of notice on mine the chatter dies down, but the ones that stay here, you can hear them, and sometimes they'll chime in and count down with me when I'm going 5, 4. I'll hear a voice go 3. It's usually Herbie over there, the clown. But
Because
I got
I got one spirit that's a little bit friendly. She likes to come up and do the touchy feely stuff, and she makes smoochy noises sometimes that you can hear.
oh wow. Yeah, I have most of the sweet little children spirits. Sometimes I'll get a little tug on my shirt tail, or I feel a little hand tap my leg or my arm. My friend Reese likes to come visit me a couple of times a year, and she was sitting in here in a chair and felt a little hand pat her on the head. And
Really?
the spirit box later, oh, she was sitting here on the couch one time on this end and felt a hand touch her arm right up here, her shoulder. And we did a spirit box and asked, who's touching Reese? And one of the spirits said, that's Patty. And Reese is a big
Ooh.
fan of my Patty doll, the one I was telling the story about, my first one. Reese has been a long time follower of mine. So she's a Patty. I've got my dolls have fans now. She's a Patty fan.
Wow.
So she just was excited when she found out she had gotten a pat on the head from Patty.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't had any problems. They're really good spirits here, these ones.
well, that's a good thing. Where in Alabama are you?
In central Alabama, not too far from Birmingham. Little
Oh,
town.
so you're a little bit north. You're closer to Birmingham than Montgomery.
Yes. Yes, I think Montgomery's like a 45-minute drive from here. It's definitely further south.
Okay. My hometown is Columbus, Georgia, which is right there against the Chattahoochee River.
Yes, I've been to Columbus before.
Now, the Confederate Naval Museum there
Uh-huh.
is haunted.
And I've heard that before. I think my friend Kelsey, Abnormal Alabama, that's one of the places he and Catherine went to. So yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I went there before I moved to Chicago, 24 years ago. I moved there in July 2001, and I went to I wanted to go to the Naval Museum. Hadn't got it since they built the new place. Well, back then it was new, And let's see. You got to have some experience. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely for sure.
But I walked in the museum, and like a lot of museums, you have this 10 or 15 minute video where they want to show something, and they were showing an ironclad being sunk, a river ironclad being sunk, uh, and during them, about halfway through, maybe less, somebody walked in with me and took a seat. I didn't think anything about it. I wasn't watching the front door. Somebody just came in the little theater and took a seat. And then, of course, I was watching the video more than the people, of course. And when the video was over, the person was gone. And again, I didn't think anything about it. I'm in a public museum during opening hours. Somebody else is in there. That's fine. To be expected, actually. So I walked out of there, walked all around the museum, saw everything, and the lady said, "Okay, we're going to close now. We're going to have to ask you to leave." But she'd give me a 5-minute warning. So I was kind of moving slowly toward the front door, looking over everything. And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, where's the other guy?" "Well, what other guy?" I said, "There was a guy watching the movie with me back here." She said, "There was nobody else in the museum when you walked in the door, and nobody walked in behind you." And the only two people that worked there were both women. And they said neither one of them walked in on me watching that movie.
Dang, that is awesome.
That was a full-bodied apparition. I thought it was a person.
Man, yeah, when they're solid like that, you don't think. I mean, if it was transparent, you could whip your camera out and snap a picture. You don't think it when it's like a
Yeah,
solid person.
you don't think about it. And I was not investigating the place. I was just simply, okay, this is my last chance to be there because I don't know if I'll ever be in Columbus, Georgia again. So I was just seeing that as, the last chance I had. And I should have brought a full spectrum camera with me or something and took a picture, but didn't have it. But that place, obviously, that's a very haunted location. So if you get a chance, I think there's either Phoenix City is, of course, the city right across the river. That there's a Phoenix City or East Alabama Paranormal Society. I think they do the investigations there. So if you can team up with them, that's a haunted place you can go to.
I'm gonna look into that.
My sister actually lives in Fort Mitchell. If you're familiar with that area on the Alabama side, it's a suburb of Phoenix City, Alabama, and also they have their whole business. There's nothing but a few houses, a trailer park, and the military cemetery. They have quite a bit of land there, right on the river. That's for military funerals and burials. So you could go there and check out a military cemetery, and you can check out some of the river walk, which goes over several places. You can include the old ironworks, which that whole area right there by the river and the ironworks is haunted because that particular place is a convention center there now. But during the Civil War, it was the second largest arms manufacturer for the Confederacy outside of Richmond. So you can actually go in the area at night. Might want to carry 2 or 3 people with you.
Yeah.
But you can go around that river walk all night long if you wanted to. And yeah, there's a couple of hotels in the area you can stay in and hit that Confederate Museum, whenever you can.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a good place to go. And you're right there in my hometown. I was there, born in '56, so you can see how long I was there. Spent the first 45 years of my life there. By the way, I am 69 years old. Just for your
Oh, you know,
information, most people that watch the show know that. Let's see, the haunted doll that you kept. Uh, oh, you said, are they a good spirit? You say that most of your dolls have the are good spirits.
yes, most of the ones because negative stuff doesn't tend to hang around very long when I start telling it off and doing prayer and everything. So yeah, they're mostly all good. Oh, it's starting to rain outside. I hear the rain. But yeah, they are mostly good. And I've had some, I mean, 13 years almost now. I've never had a negative thing happen to me. Of course, like I say, I keep my faith strong in Christ for protection, and that's helped out a lot. And as far as I feel like in fact, some of the child spirits, like Patty and Andrea, some of them, when they come through the spirit box, they call me Daddy. So I'm
Oh
sort of like
wow.
dad now. So I really love that. That's pretty cool. I feel like I've adopted spirit children, which I
uh,
don't mind.
go ahead. I gather you're not married.
No, I do have, like I said, Reese, uh, my international girlfriend there. It's hard to find a woman in Alabama that would put up with the kind of stuff I do. I mean, it's here too. So, uh, and which I guess worked out because my elderly father lives with me now, and he would have had nowhere else to go if I because my sister was married, got two special needs kids, and they
Oh
moved
wow.
around place to place. My brother's special needs, so when my mom passed away 9 years ago, not long after my dad had two back-to-back heart attacks.
Oh goodness.
That's the other reason I bought a bigger house too, was so he would have a place to come live. Because we didn't want him living by himself after that. And he doesn't really care about the collection. He doesn't quite believe in it. He's Christian. He was a head deacon in the Baptist church. So he's like, "There's anything there, it's got to be a demon." I'm like, "No, I got some nice spirits. They don't bother us." So
I get a lot of that around here in Arkansas. Uh, I have some people that don't want to speak to me because they think if I'm on a spirit box, echo box, or whatever, I'm speaking to demons, not ghosts,
yeah,
because they just flat don't believe in ghosts.
yeah, I've had people argue me on my TikTok, like, "You just got demons there, man." And I'm like, "No, not everything's demonic. There are
Right.
demonic, not
Mm.
not everything."
There's there's very few true demonic things. There's just not
Yep.
that many of them around. Now, you may have a ghost just trying to get some attention or cut up or whatever. Will say they're a demon or hint they're a demon or maybe appear across the room in the dark at 3 o'clock in the morning. But very, very few real demons are out there.
Yeah, and in my team's investigation, we've only come across a few. One was attacking a little girl in a house, really not far from where I live, about half hour. Um, and we started trying to help them out. And I know one night we went and visited and just did a casual investigation to see what we could find. Really didn't find anything, but we felt like whatever it is, it might be hiding. She was the only one that would see it. The little girl, she's like 9 years old at the time, and she would describe it to her parents as looking like a deformed gingerbread man hiding in her closet. Well, that just
Goodness.
brings up all kinds of nightmare images there. And
Yes.
they didn't believe her, and she kept saying he's on fire. And they didn't believe her until one night when her dad went to check the closet, and there was a clothes were pushed aside, and there was a handprint burned into the wall. And we saw it with our own eyes. It was creepy. So when we did our investigation there, we didn't really catch anything. But the next morning, the mother sent a picture of the little girl. She woke up, her arm was hurting her. She had three claw marks going down her arm there. So Kim, our team lead, she's like, I am pumped off. She said, I'm calling the priest and getting him out there. We had a friend priest who worked with our team sometimes, and he went out there and took a couple of backup priests with him.
Of course.
And Kim asked me to go. She didn't want anything to latch onto her and go home to her children, and so that since I didn't have any children, I was a sacrificial lamb. She said, I want you to be my eyes and ears. You'll go see what happens because the family was our clients originally. We didn't want to abandon them. But that priest and his team, they went in. One of them was even a former Baptist preacher, which shocked me. You don't see Baptists get involved in this
No,
kind of thing.
you don't.
In fact, I'm sure they don't like what I do. But they did heavy prayer all through that house, and they kind of did equipment like we do. They had some cameras set up. One was in the attic, and while the preacher and the priest were going around praying, they had a demonologist there spreading holy oil and water, stuff like that. Up in the attic, and I'm there physically. I know there's nobody in that attic. I know where everybody is. Everybody's accounted for. But on that camera, you start seeing stuff getting thrown across the room, like some invisible entity is up there ticked off. And that scared the life out of me. It was like watching something on Ghost Adventures, except, and I remember thinking to myself, this ain't TV, this is real. This is going on right above my head right now. This thing is like that many feet away from me. And I had my crucifix on, and I'm praying, and the former Baptist preacher is praying with me. The priest and the demonologist went up to the attic and just, you could hear them up there screaming at that thing to get out, go to the cross, take your judgment, leave this family alone. And I went over to the stairs, and one of the backup priests was there. He had this big old crucifix. I said, I got to get me one of them, big old crucifix. And he was pointing it toward the attic. And they gave a final shout, get out in the name of Christ. This cold wind blew down from the attic, blew by the priest. I saw he reacted, his hair kind of flopped. It blew by me and went out the front door.
Now, was he using a cross or a crucifix? There's a difference.
Well, it was a crucifix, but it was a big one. Yeah, it was definitely a crucifix with Christ on it. And
Had the
everything.
body of Christ on it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a crucifix.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that's what I have. This little one. Oh, he had a beautiful one. I don't know where he got that. So I got to get me one of those.
It was probably a very pretty penny that he paid for it.
Probably. But yeah, after that, the family came back, and the wife is going around the house, and she said, this is the most pleasant I felt in this house in weeks. And so after she walked around, they felt comfortable. The husband felt comfortable. They were just about crying. They were so relieved that this thing was gone. We finally left, and Art, the main priest, kept in touch with them for a few months, and they were fine. The little girl was fine. Meanwhile, Kim did some research on that house to find out where'd this demon come from. But before this family bought it, the prior owner used to rent it out. And he said when she reached out to him, he said, yeah, I rented that house out to a couple of college kids. And after they moved out, I noticed up in the attic some kind of drawings on the floor. And I asked them, what in the heck is that? And they told me they'd been playing with a Ouija board, trying to contact some kind of party game they were doing. And Kim's like, yep, right there. That's what caused it. They conjured something up. They may not have even known it. Sure left it there, though. It was still there. That family had lived there, I think, a month before things started happening. And their little girl was complaining about seeing that monster in her closet, which they just thought she was imagining things at first until they saw the handprint and all heck broke loose.
Wow.
But that's as close to a demon as I've gotten, a real full-fledged one, and I don't care to ever be that close again. That and the Lori demon were the two nastiest customers I've met. Ooh.
I only met one demon myself, and I was doing some channeling and uh, investigating a place that I was asked to look at, and I was attacked. And I found out real quick that nothing I said or did worked, and I was about to get killed. And we had a show early on this network. Our CEO, Latriana Brown, uh, did an Angels and Demons show, talking 2 hours about this subject. And I was saved by two warrior angels. And of course, you're not supposed to see angels. You're not, and I believe that's in most Bible teachings, that you're not supposed to see the face of God, nor are you not really supposed to know the real shape of angels. These two appeared to me as the classic medieval times drawings and paintings of an angels. Long males, long hair, carrying sword, robes, long flowing white robes, and wings. They came flying in there and took the demon and was gone.
Wow.
Now, I've never been that great a religious person, but when I got out of that, I got to say these things exist, because I have no doubt that had I been killed through that channeling, I probably would have died in my real body.
That's a big possibility.
And everybody would just say, okay, it was a heart attack or
Yeah.
something. And so that's all the demon experience I want. And by the way, in New Orleans at the Paracon, there's going to be 2 or 3 people representing the Catholic Church down there. Chris Talley, who's one of the married couples, is doing the Paracon. He investigates places for the Catholic Church. They'll say, the Catholic Church will call him up. We've had a complaint about this family, this address. They're expecting you. He'll go there and see if it's something he can get rid of, or if it's something the church needs to go in there and get rid of. So that's the kind of people you can be talking to at the New Orleans Paracon.
That's awesome, because I was afraid that was starting to turn into a kind of a dying breed, people doing that kind of thing. And I've heard that the Catholic Church was turning more and more away from exorcisms and things, so it's good to hear that that's not entirely true.
It's not dead yet. You got to be careful in New Orleans. New Orleans, you ever been there?
Yeah, close by there. I have never stayed in the city because there's a lot of energy there. Something about it just terrifies me. But
you know why there's energy there?
Probably
because it's a crossroads. It's like the Atlanta airport.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I think it's like Santana in the way that I think New Orleans said there's a lot of the streets are built over like burial ground, aren't they? Like a lot of bodies buried under there.
Well, you had Native Americans living there for centuries, and there's been white people there since 1603 or 4, and thousands have died.
Yes.
So anywhere you go, you're basically stepping on a grave there. And the French Quarter actually burned. What's there is called the French Quarter. It was actually the Spanish Quarter. That's why it's got Spanish architecture, not French.
Yeah.
Most of the old French Quarter is gone. Just a handful of buildings and houses where you can actually see real French architecture. It's a fascinating city. Last time I was down there this past spring, at that closet that I talked about at the Andrew Jackson, a kid, about 14, was on the tour, and he said, I kept hearing the name Toby being said. I'm Toby, I'm Toby. And I said, uh-oh, my fault. Because my friend Chris said, I've never heard that name here before. And he goes to Andrew Jackson at least 3 to 4 times a week and has done this for 2 or 3 years. So that's a lot of visits to the Andrew Jackson. He said he never heard the word Toby before. And I said, that's my fault. That's a friend of mine that passed away in 2007, 2008.
Oh wow.
And I've never heard his name before. He's never had contacted me. That was his DJ name. He was a DJ in strip clubs for many, many years. He actually had a better voice than I do. Great, great radio voice. And he passed away and was trying to contact me there in New Orleans. And to my knowledge, he never went to New Orleans.
That is amazing.
You said that you stopped doing sessions in general because you have family in the house now.
Oh, I guess I was thinking that's Omar. He's followed me for a while. But I guess I missed the question. No, that's fine. Yeah, since my dad lives here, I know lately I've kind of backed off. It's been a hot minute since I posted anything on my YouTube. I've got this live feed going on there now, so um, I want to say it's been a month or more, maybe 2 months since I did a video. The last one I did was in my that bedroom with the dolls where Patty was, and there's a clip out there on the YouTube, and it's on my TikTok. It's not hard to find because that was recent. And I'm talking, sitting on the bed. You hear right near me, clear as day on the phone. You hear a little girl hum, like like that, and I heard it physically audibly right then when it happened.
Oh,
So I look
wow.
around the way, and I look back at the camera, and I said, "Did y'all hear that?" And I had no idea if it got caught on the camera until I played it back later after I finished my recording, and it's clear as day on there. And probably a month before that, I was going to bed in there, and I heard there in that room some little footsteps shuffling while I was in the bathroom there. So I stepped in there, started snapping some pictures, and one of them came out real dark and shadowy. And I tell people when you're taking pictures on an investigation and one comes out blurry or too dark, don't delete it right off the bat. Look at those because sometimes you might have something. Um, and in this case, I had caught something. I took the photo and I lightened it up, brightened it up, take the shadow away. You see this little figure, what looks like a little girl, in front of my dresser, kind of kneeling down on the floor like she's playing with something. Not the first time I've gotten a picture of a little girl uh, sitting or kneeling on the floor in this house. One time I got a picture over here to this table chair over here, and that's out there too on my TikTok and I think my YouTube as well. So got a lot of little girl spirit, little child spirits here, and
I can
I
imagine with all the dolls.
yeah, they don't often give me good photos, but a couple of times there, they've given me some really interesting ones. I'm
This is
glad I
such an
didn't.
interesting thing we're in. Go, go ahead and interrupt it. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say I'm glad I didn't throw that, delete that photo when I saw it was too dark. I learned from an experience. We have a haunted historical place here called Sloss Furnaces here in Birmingham. I love going there. There's always activity every time I go, even just down to the sound of footsteps crunching on the gravel in the blower building or rattling the catwalk above and nobody's in there. It's an old furnace, dates back to the 1800s, and it's a
Oh,
museum
wow.
now. And it doesn't cost anything to go through it. You just have to go in and check in, and they'll give you a little map. You can go do your own walkthrough tour. It takes about an hour to walk around that place. It's pretty big, so they got a lot of ghosts there. They used to do ghost hunts there, and they stopped doing it when new management took over because they said it's too risky, insurance and all that. And I get
Right.
it. So, but we still sneak in there during the daytime self-guided tours. I'll take a few things I can put in my pocket, like a K2 meter, and my Android here. I use the Ghost Tube with the camera on it, and I can still sneak a little investigation in. I've caught some good things in there. But I bring that up because one time I took a picture there uh, when we used to do the nighttime tours there. Kim Johnston and I and our team would do a event at nighttime after the normal park hours, and the proceeds would go mainly toward the museum there. That's charity, and we would take people on a ghost hunt there. You know, a party up to 30, 20, or 30 people, and I was snapping pictures around there, and I was looking outside the blower building towards some pipes that were there, some stacks, and sun had not gone down yet, so I was snapping pictures, see if I catch anything out there. And one of the pictures was super blurry, and I was about to delete it when I got to look at it. I zoomed in, and I could see one of the stacks there. And in that picture, you see what looks like a man leaning out from behind it. You can see his coveralls like a worker. And I showed it to Kim. She said, "Yeah, I can see that too." I said, "I was about to delete that video." And the next picture after that, I took several back to back when I caught that. The next picture, there was nothing there behind that stack. So
Wow.
that was awesome. I'm glad I didn't delete that just because it was blurry. There was a reason it was. Some activity was going on there.
Uh, you want to go ahead and post that next statement, Gwen? There you go. Well, earlier in the chat, I just asked you $100 you ended up keeping was a good spirit lease. Oh, she was worried about that being too personal, but you answered the question anyway, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Any questions? I can't remember which doll that was now, but yeah. No, none of the dolls are too personal to talk about. I'll talk about them. I don't remember
Yeah,
which
I'll
doll.
open up to any other listeners. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in the chat room. Kevin just said he's open to answering questions. Don't feel bad. You ask a question.
Oh, it's
Yep,
fine.
that's what we're here for, to answer questions. Kevin and I are just sitting there jib jabbing along, getting to know each other. If
Yeah.
anybody's got a question, either one of us, we will answer to the best of our abilities.
Oh, I did answer it. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, nothing I've answered tonight was too personal, so you're fine.
About the only thing personal I asked you was, where you were, and I told you my hometown. So we're from not that far apart. We're maybe an hour 15 away.
Oh, okay.
Of course, on state, Auburn's just I can dash from Columbus to Auburn 30 minutes or less.
Yeah. You says you live in Columbus now?
No, that's where I was
No, just
born and
trying to
raised.
remember.
I'm in Arkansas now, and probably going to be here to stay. The wife, uh, I've got two artificial knees. She's got a bad back, so we're both retired for medical reasons, and we're building us. We've been here 10 years. Uh, Tell you how much you pay for the house. Would you believe 10 years ago we bought a house for $18,500
Wow, that's good.
on a 4-acre lot?
Dang, that's lucky. What was the catch? Was it haunted?
No, first few times I did Echo Box and Ghost Box sessions here, got absolutely nothing. We had a non-intelligent walkthrough. We could only smell a pipe. This all used to be hunting ground for hunters. So I'm thinking before the house was built, you had a hunter walking through here. There is an old, just a heck, 50 yards from where I'm sitting, an old hunter's shack. It's totally disused. Obviously, been there for years. So I'm thinking of somebody that had that as their hunting during deer season. And before this house was built in 85, used to walk up the hill a little bit hunting deer here. He may have had a deer stand in the yard.
Wow.
But yeah, when we moved here, there was no activity. But doing echo box sessions, some of them are coming around. I have one girl that she will not comment about it, but all she says is raped.
Oh, good.
Another one, again, a woman, and I'm not sure if she's talking about herself or pointing a finger at one of the male entities. She says prison.
Oh, boy.
So, but I've never had anything bad, and they go away when I ask them to.
Well, that's good.
Now, I messed up one time. I was working with a friend of mine, and we had a two-way thing going. He had a ghost box. I was asking questions on his ghost box. He answered questions. I asked questions on my echo box, and we brought spirits that don't belong here. And I was sitting where I am now, and all of a sudden, very translucent, but I could tell about four people entered my den here, walked over to my wife's computer, which was shut down, and was trying to get through the screen. So I said, wait a minute, you're not going to do that. That computer is off. You cannot electronically go through there. Let me step out of the room and use this computer, which was a different computer at the time. I got just a pretty recent purchase here. So you can go back to where you belong. So I walked out of the room just to get out of their way. They all come over to my computer and went through the internet. So ghosts are, of course, electronic phenomena. So that's what's left of us when we pass on, just an energy. They can easily manipulate a phone. They can manipulate radios, things like Echo Box, and they can go through your internet. So if you ever do an Echo Box or Ghost Box session in a haunted location and you're channeling it to your house because you're there, maybe a friend of yours is somewhere else, be very careful. Because they can come right through your computer at you.
Yeah, that's some people on my TikTok, they get scared. Like, they come through my phone or my computer at me, and I'll tell them, well, I don't think mine are going to leave here. At least they know better than to do that. I kind of hint toward the spirits listening and like, y'all stay here. Don't go bothering anybody. But yeah, I believe they can go, they can use these objects to go from place to place. Like some of these haunted paintings make perfect portals.
Yes.
So, and mirrors are perfect. So yeah, definitely. I would not be surprised one going through the good old TV while you're watching Andy Griffith show or something.
Yeah, we're going to have to be careful when Gwen and I go to New Orleans on July 31st because anybody watching the show live could get a nasty New Orleans spirit coming through, although there's not many spirits are nasty in New Orleans. Now, there was one in Al Capone. I just name him. There's a fiberglass statue of Al Capone sitting in one front of the restaurants, and it's been stolen 3 times.
Oh,
They just had sitting on a park bench outside.
yeah.
And all 3 times they brought it back saying that Al Capone was appearing in their house.
But that's what you get for stealing it.
They keep it inside most of the time. Now, once in a while, they'll during the daytime they'll put it out there on the bench in front of the restaurant. But the plans are for me to go spend 2 or 3 nights in Hot Springs. That Al Capone actually came down for vacation from Chicago, and go in that restaurant and try to carry on a conversation with the statue. So that's on my to do things in the next year or so. Is basically just draw up a chair or sit on the bench with Al Capone and see if I can hold a conversation.
Well, I can't laugh because I did that. I got a little snippet of it because I didn't have enough time to really stop and talk to her long. But when I went to Savannah, Georgia, right before pandemic, back in 2019, there's a haunted statue there in Bonaventure Cemetery. A little girl, her name is Gracie, I believe. Yeah, Gracie. And she's so popular, they've had to build an iron fence around her
Right.
grave because they have a after she died. When was that? Late 1800s or early 1900s? Uh, they had this. Her father was wealthy, owned the hotel there, and he had this famous Italian sculptor make a statue of little Gracie Watson to put on her grave, and it's still there. And they got a fence around it now to keep people from touching the statue, leaving their greasy fingerprints on it, and that ruins the I guess it's marble or whatever the stone is it's made out of.
Right. Yeah, a little salty stuff off your fingertips. And if memory serves, some people were trying to actually hit it with a hammer and take a chip of it home.
Disrespectful. Oh, that would tick me off if
But
I saw.
you're liable to get her spirit, her father's spirit, and anybody else would get ticked off at that. You're liable to have a little chip of a statue in your house, and you may have a house full of ghosts all of a sudden, keeping you up all night.
I would not, just because I love that little spirit. I wouldn't want to hurt her statue. I actually took a little toy ball and I kind of pitched it through the bars there toward her grave. Because they say if you really want to make her happy, leave a toy. So I bought a little rubber ball I'd gotten at the Dollar General on the way, and I filmed that. But it's interesting, in that clip, there was no wind that day. And as I'm standing at the grave, filming through the bars at the statue, and I mentioned her death, this kind of heavy breeze blows through. You see the bushes in the grave there. There's some shrubbery around her grave. Just start rustling. Wind out of nowhere. So I think that was her kind of letting me know she was there and appreciating me telling her story real quick and leaving the toy. I wanted to stay there for a while, but these people were just coming through. People love Bonaventure Cemetery. A couple of tours they were pulling up in their cars and getting out, walking around. And Gracie is a big
draw there.
Big draw. That's the word I was looking for. Her, and there's another haunted statue there. I can't remember the lady's name. I went to her grave too. But yeah, little Gracie, I would love to, and I think they do ghost walking tours there at night. I'd love to go there at nighttime and visit her grave, see if I catch anything.
Well, they have, they used to in New Orleans, they would allow you to go in and see some of the specifically spirits, Marie Laveau. But people were drawing stuff on the where she's buried on her crypt, trying to take chips out of it, and they will not let you in there except on escorted tour, and they will not leave you alone. They do not let you roam around by yourself.
I heard that a YouTuber not long ago posted about that. I remember thinking, whoa, they've changed that. Now I see why, which I assumed it was because people were going in there causing problems. I wouldn't want to tick off Marie Laveau.
Well, all people were leaving, including myself, have left little souvenirs for her at there, and they got tired of that, so you can't do that anymore. You have to go to the Marie Laveau house, and there you can leave an offering for her. I got her. I asked for her permission to go down in New Orleans and do some investigations, and she gave me the blessings.
Oh, that's awesome.
So basically, I got carte blanche as long as I'm not abusive. Now, if I start getting abusive to the spirits down there, she'd probably run me out of town. Uh,
Understand that.
Gracie Watson. I remember that statue in her story. I want her to remember that if people remove the toys from her grave, her statue will cry blood. I would too if somebody stole my toys. Yes.
I talked about that on the little video clip I did there. Yeah, I've heard that too. They say if you leave a toy, you might get good luck. I don't know about that, but I know it makes her happy. And but if you take a toy, your statue will bleed. Well, I didn't see any stains of blood on her statue. They say she
I would.
cries tears.
Mhm. I would not
I
test that theory.
I know, just out of respect for that poor little girl, I wouldn't want to steal her toy. I feel like a
Exactly.
jerk. But I kind of doubt
Yeah.
the blood part, but I think it would upset her that she might. Some people have said they've
Yes.
heard crying on the wind. I think somebody said they started to take one, they heard like a cry on the wind. They put it back real quick. I wouldn't do that. Taught that poor little girl like
No.
that.
Don't even. Wouldn't even touch them. Now the
No.
person, Emma Burke Desjar, don't even know how to pronounce all that. She said one can feel negatively and another can feel calm. Sometimes it's not so much different people. It depends on the mood of the spirits. I walked in some very haunted places and walked in, and 5 minutes later, I wanted to leave because you run into that negativity and said, "Okay, this is not the conversation I want to have." And the next day, you walk in there and you feel a little bit of joy. I feel that when you put uh, Day of the Dead, All Souls Day, which is November 2nd, I put some flowers on graves and at a not very visited cemetery here locally. And there was nothing but good feelings coming out of the cemetery. And Bachelor's Grove, one of the most negative places, cemeteries in the country. One Christmas several years ago, we purchased quite a few wreaths and went and placed wreaths on all the graves, which was a pretty good dollar. You know, when you got a wreath about that big around, and you're placing relief or placing those wreaths on everybody that was still buried in that cemetery, and there was nothing but a joyful feeling. So it's not just the people; you can change the mood of a place yourself.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I know there's a place here about 30 minutes ride from where I live, Childersburg, Alabama. It's a grist mill called the Camulga Grist Mill. I've got an old covered bridge there going over the river that's been there over 100 years.
Oh wow!
Uh, you can walk over the bridge. They got a campground there, but there's trails that go through these woods to a really beautiful rolling spring there. It's always a current there. I wouldn't want to fall in there, but it's beautiful, beautiful big spring there that you can walk over a bridge over it. You can go there in the daytime. It's just as peaceful and beautiful. You feel great. But when Ken Johnson and I were doing these public events where we would offer people to come, and we'd always, whatever money we were paid, we would give it to the place. Like in that case, it was the Moga Grist Mill. Um, we did a event around Halloween time, and the grist mill itself is kind of haunted. The old couple that built it still kind of linger around the place. Very good spirits. They're very nice. And the bridge, we picked up on some Native American spirits. Well, we took the group, and this is like around midnight time. We go over the bridge and we go to the woods back there where the trails are, and we could hear drumming, like Native American drums. And we have one of those big, what do you call it, microphones, whatever, the big round one that picks up sound from far away. And we were taking turns putting on the headset. You could hear it. But the whole time I felt very bad out there. And I kept telling Kim, we shouldn't stay out here long. Something really nasty is out here. I don't think it wants us here.
Mm-hmm.
But she was so excited about the drums and letting people listen to the headphones. Meantime, I heard a woman somewhere off in the other direction. I heard a woman scream and felt like something was rushing toward us. And I told Kim, we got to get out of here, Kim. And she wasn't listening. So I grabbed my crucifix. I always wear it when we go on investigations. And I'm just saying the Lord's Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I guess she finally picked up on how serious I was. And she said, I turned around where I wouldn't scare the people that were there with us that was quietly praying. And she finally said, we probably ought to head back. It's getting late. Well, we started back down the trail toward the bridge, and the closer we got to the bridge, the better I felt. It was a relief. And we got back to the grist mill, and we were out of earshot of the mill. She said, "What was going on out there?" I said, "Y'all were hearing those drums? I was hearing something else behind me. Something was coming. It was not happy we were there. Something very dark." And I heard, especially with the woman scream, it makes it very interesting, the scream I heard. I have heard that the way back in the 30s or 40s, some woman was chased by a group of men out there and she was attacked and raped.
Oh.
So it might have been her spirit out there ticked off. Or the energy, the negative energies. I find it could even been, I think it might have been demonic. Some kind of
Hmm.
negative energy that doesn't
The
come out in the daytime, but it sure is there at night. I will not go back there at night time again.
Bachelor's Grove is a lot of the same way. You have nighttime spirits, or just, or at least were. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but the nighttime spirits can be a little bit rough on you, especially on Native Americans. And of course, part of Bachelor's Grove problem was the Native American village that got wiped out by another Native American tribe. Uh, you have the Native Americans weren't all friendly to each other. There
No.
was a lot of fighting going on. There's all kinds of stories. They would go in there and kill all the warriors and the old men, the old women, and take the women and the young, very young children, so they can increase the number of members of their tribe. Because it indoctrinate, interbreed with the women and indoctrinate the children to their tribe beliefs. And Native Americans were not. Some of them were friendly. Some of them traded friendly with each other. Others, it was horrifying what used to go on in North America
Oh, yeah.
before. And the things that the white man did to the Native Americans, it's amazing. Our whole country isn't haunted by angry Native American spirits.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt, but it's 1 hour 49 minutes, so
Uh-oh.
can we stop at 2 if you don't mind?
Oh, I was kind of watching that, and
I
I think we're
know.
I think we're winding down. We can go ahead and end this thing in 10 minutes, can't we, Kevin?
Yeah, that's fine with me. I have to work tomorrow, so I probably should get to bed anyway. I wasn't paying
Oh yeah.
attention to.
All right. Well, don't forget to tell us how everybody can reach out to you, Kevin, and I'm gonna pop
That
back in. Okay.
that's what I want to cover in the last 10 minutes. Kevin, I want you to go over again where people can reach you.
Okay. The main place, myhauntedDolls.com. That's my website. It's here on the screen. Um, and I have a link page there. You can find my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is also called My Haunted Dolls. In fact, that's easy to find. You can put in youtube.com/My Haunted Dolls. Um, so I've got the YouTube. I've got the website, myhauntedDolls.com. Oh, I have a bookstore. I published several books, a couple of books on my haunted collection, some supernatural novels I've written based on some of the items and ghost stories.
Where are the books available?
You can get them if you want an autographed copy. I've got a store at myhauntedDolls.com, but you can otherwise get them at Amazon. They're on Kindle. Online stores like Barnes and Noble and Books a Million have them. Most online stores I've seen, and I've got two that made it to Audible. If you like audiobooks, I've got just a couple of those out there, and also on my website, myhauntedDolls.com. There's a link to my Redbubble store if you want to buy T-shirts. Oh, I do have a podcast I do where I tell ghost stories. It's from Podbean, but you can find it on Spotify, Amazon. It's called the Haunted Collection Podcast Show,
Cool.
and I just like to tell my favorite ghost stories on there. Stories I've heard growing up, and some of them are based on true places. Some of them are just urban legends and fiction, and some of them are downright bloody and scary. And it's a pre-taped thing. It's just an audio podcast. It's not video. It's just me telling stories. But what else have I got? The Instagram, My Haunted Dolls. It's weird though. It's my_haunted_dolls is the Instagram account. TikTok is under my name, Kevin Cain. That's where I do my live haunted doll sessions every Thursday night at 8:15 Central and Saturdays at 4 p.m. Central. Unless something comes up, I usually do those. And is there anything I'm missing? I mentioned the TikTok. Oh, Facebook. I've got the My Haunted Dolls Facebook page back up and running recently. Had to start all over again. Like I mentioned earlier, I had an AI hack of some kind, and they took away my Facebook all of a sudden and my page, and just messed me all up. I had to start over again. So, so there is the Facebook page running again.
All right. And of course, you got the beautiful little fur baby right there to your left, I believe.
Yeah, kitty cat Maddie.
Hello, Maddie.
I've got her on one of my pillows. You can get this at my Redbubble store. That's Maddie and Patty.
Maddie and Patty together.
At the old house, whenever I would put Patty's doll out here on the couch, Maddie would climb up here and snuggle up to her. It was so cute. And that's one of the pictures I got of her.
Hey, if you don't mind, what do you do for a living? So you got to go to work.
By day, I'm a manager at an auto insurance company called Kemper Insurance. I hope I don't mind me saying. I manage an auto liability team investigating car accidents. I've been there, over 22 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I got promoted to manager earlier this year.
Congratulations.
Run my own team. Thank you. I wish I could be a full-time writer. That's what I've always wanted to be, but I haven't had any good book deals come my way yet, but maybe one day.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And if you get a chance, you can make it. Come on down to New Orleans July 31st.
Yeah, I need to look into that and see what we can make that happen.
Gwen and I are going to be there along with Latriana and our CEO, and we'll be glad to talk to you. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Paracon actually live inside the room, and I'll have a spare chair. If you want to come up, we can talk for a little bit about what's going on. Bring a haunted doll down there. I'd interview a doll.
He absolutely would. And hey, Kevin, also not to take away from that one, but either the week before or the week after, there is one in Alabama, and it's going to be in Enterprise, Alabama. It's called Deep South Paracon. We go to that every year. Well, Lee Triana and I and Matt do.
I've been a guest there before. About a year or two ago, I was a guest there that Saturday. I had a couple of dolls there. I had a table set up with my books.
I thought you were there not this year past, but the year before. But I may be mistaken. There were so many people.
Yeah, it was the year before. And it cracks me up how many of the kids come up, look at the dolls, wanting to see a ghost.
Yeah, they do. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell him I didn't know if that one was closer and he might could get there, but I thought that's where I recognized you from. So that's cool. So
Yeah, I used to get invited to a lot of conventions here in Birmingham and Memphis. I'd be asked to come out and bring my dolls and do panels and
oh yeah.
sell my books. And after pandemic, the offers started dying down. But I do love conventions. I like just going as a guest, especially if there's celebrities there. I like to meet.
Oh yeah, there's at Deep South. There's always celebrities, and
Yeah,
if you want a booth, I know that you can look their website up and get one. And that's not just for you; that's for anybody that on here that's watching. It's
yeah.
gonna be in Enterprise, Alabama, and I believe it's the weekend after the New Orleans Paracon, where I get to go and wrangle your host here. No, we love Lynn. We'll be glad to see him in person, and we will. So, okay, I'm gonna get back off. I just had to say that.
All right.
All right. Well, Kevin, it has been a real pleasure. We will have to do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, I don't mind.
I don't know why we were not Facebook friends years ago, but there it is. We just missed each other, and I apologize for that.
Oh, well, that's
But
okay. A lot of them out there I still haven't met, but I've seen a lot of paranormal Facebook pages and things floating around. I still haven't gotten to know yet.
it was my pleasure and my honor to get to know you, sir.
Well, my pleasure too. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. It's hard to believe we've been sitting here talking for 2 hours now.
I know. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. She likes my room. I guess you're talking about all this behind me here. See, I don't have a collection of dolls. I collect ghosts. These little lights right here
Yeah,
and
I see that.
here. Those are small ghosts lit up. I got Larry, Curly, and Mo up here, and you see either side of me, right here. I've got ghosts hanging there, uh, and all this top shelf up here is ghost.
Those are cool.
So, all right, let's go ahead and get out of here. You got to get to work in the morning. Gwen's got stuff to do, and 2 hours is enough.
Yeah,
It's been fun. It doesn't seem like 2 hours; it seems like 15 minutes. But
yeah, it
we
does.
we had fun. We got to know each other, and if you ever got anything you want to talk about, hit me up on Facebook on the Messenger, and we can make arrangements.
I will.
All right, you take care of yourself. Take care of all those dolls and that kitty cat you have.
I will.
So, thank you for appearing on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great night. All right, let's get on out of here. As I always say, since we're in a little, want to get out of here. Good night, everybody. I will be next Thursday. Going to do a little Christmas Day show. That's where everybody, kind of like Thanksgiving show. So watch that, where we're going to get everybody in our Santa outfits. Maybe a new gift we got. Maybe a new paranormal toy we got. Or just wish everybody Merry Christmas. Just a quick 30, 40-minute show. Just everybody on All Access Network TV can come in and say hi, say bye, and Merry Christmas. But until then, just remember, the paranormal never sleeps, although we have to as human beings. Good night, everybody. See you next week.